It's raining again. And to be honest, I can't stand it. Rain used to fascinate me, watching droplets race down window panes, listening to the rhythmic patter against the roof. But now, I keep my curtains drawn tight whenever clouds gather overhead. It's not that I'm afraid of water or thunder. It's what lies beneath the rain that terrifies me. If you're reading this, consider it part warning, part confession. But if you dismiss it as some wild fabrication, that's fine too. Just know that I won't forget, not ever. In 2017, I was a 23-year-old graduate student studying environmental science at a small university in the Pacific Northwest. Growing up, I had spent most of my childhood exploring forests, imagining myself as an adventurer, uncovering hidden worlds. As an adult, those fantasies evolved into dreams of preserving nature for future generations. So, when Professor Alvarez announced an optional weekend excursion to earn extra credit by hiking through nearby trails, I jumped at the chance. "Hey, Clara," I said after class one afternoon, catching the attention of the quiet girl who always sat next to me. Her name wasn't actually Clara. It was Emily, but I'll call her Clara here. She had short auburn hair, piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right through people. Despite her reserved demeanor, there was something magnetic about her presence. We'd bonded over shared interests in ecology and literature during late-night study sessions, though neither of us had ventured beyond friendship. "Want to go hiking this weekend? There's a trail a couple hours west of town." Clara looked up from her notebook, surprised but intrigued. "Sure," she replied softly. "Just let me know when." The next few days were a blur of preparation. Together, we gathered supplies: non-perishable food, sturdy boots, waterproof jackets, and lightweight tents. By Friday evening, we were packed and ready to leave. My old Jeep groaned under the weight of our gear, strapped to its roof rack. But it held firm as we drove west along winding roads toward Silverwood Forest Reserve, a sprawling expanse of untouched wilderness known only to serious hikers and park rangers. When we arrived mid-morning Saturday, the parking lot buzzed with activity. Families picnicked near their cars. Dogs barked excitedly. Joggers stretched before setting off onto the trails. Clara raised an eyebrow at me. "You said it would be quiet." "It will be," I assured her. "These folks aren't planning to stay long." We approached the trailhead where a ranger stood casually leaning against a wooden signpost. He tipped his hat as we neared. "Heading in?" he asked, his voice warm and welcoming. "Yes, sir," I replied. "Is that okay?" "Of course," he said with a smile. "Just make sure to check in regularly. Here's my card. Call if anything comes up." "Oh, and there are ranger shelters deeper in if you need them." "Name's Daniels, by the way." "I'm Alex," I said, gesturing to my companion. "And this is Clara." Daniels nodded politely. "Stay safe out there, Alex and Clara. Enjoy yourselves." that, we began our journey. The first day passed uneventfully, filled with breathtaking views of towering pines and babbling brooks. There's a kind of freedom in hiking without deadlines, a sense of existing purely in the moment. No emails, no assignments, no worries. Just the crunch of leaves beneath your boots and the occasional rustle of wildlife. As dusk settled over the forest, Clara suggested finding a clearing to set up camp. We soon discovered a perfect spot, a flat area surrounded by trees, clearly used by previous travelers. Setting up our tents took little time, and within minutes, we had a small fire crackling between us. Dinner consisted of granola bars, dried fruit, eaten in companionable silence. Halfway through my snack, I froze. Something moved just beyond the firelight, partially obscured by shadows. At first glance, it appeared to be an animal, perhaps a raccoon or fox. But then it vanished into thin air, sinking seamlessly into the earth. "Everything okay?" Clara asked, noticing my sudden stillness. "Yeah," I muttered, shaking off the eerie sensation. "Thought I saw something. Probably nothing." We finished eating, doused the fire, and retreated to our respective tents. Sleep came easily after hours of physical exertion, but morning brought new challenges. As we broke camp, Clara mentioned hearing strange noises during the night. "I think there might be snakes around," she said cautiously. "Something brushed against my tent last night. Felt like scales." I nodded, filing away the information. Snakes weren't uncommon in these woods, but venomous ones rarely ventured far from water sources. Still, vigilance wouldn't hurt by midday. Dark clouds rolled in unexpectedly. Forecasts hadn't predicted rain, yet thunder rumbled ominously overhead. Within moments, fat drops began pelting us, quickly escalating into a torrential downpour. "Let's find shelter," Clara shouted above the storm. She sprinted ahead, following a narrow side path leading to a dilapidated cabin nestled among the trees. I followed closely, slipping slightly on slick roots and mud. Then, disaster struck. My foot caught on something solid buried beneath the muck. I tumbled forward, landing face first in the mire. When I regained my footing, I realized what I'd tripped over. A thick, writhing mass camouflaged by dirt, whether snake or something else entirely. I didn't stick around to find out, breathless and soaked. We reached the cabin just as lightning illuminated the sky. Inside, Clara burst into laughter at my muddy appearance. "Looks like you wrestled a bear out there," she teased. "Hilarious," I grumbled, wiping mud from my face with a towel. While Clara unpacked our gear, I wandered to a grimy window overlooking the trail. Through streaks of rain, I spotted something unnatural protruding from the ground, a pale, cylindrical shape jutting upward like a broken branch. Except it wasn't wood, it was flesh. "Clara, come look at this," I called urgently. She joined me at the window, squinting through the deluge. As rain washed away layers of mud, the object revealed itself. A human arm, fingers splayed skyward as though reaching for help. "Oh my God," Clara whispered, covering her mouth. "What is that?" We stared in horrified silence till reason returned. "Call the ranger station," I urged, handing her Daniel's business card. Clara dialed the number, explaining our situation to the dispatcher. Meanwhile, I stepped outside briefly to confirm the cabin's identification, number etched beside the doorframe. 42. But when I glanced back toward the trail, the arm was gone, vanished without a trace save for rivulets of mud flowing downhill. Unease prickled at the edges of my mind. Had it been dragged away? Or had it simply sunk deeper into the earth back inside? Clara relayed updates from the dispatcher. Help was en route, but due to the storm, it might take hours. Until then, we were instructed to remain indoors. Clara locked the door, draped spare clothing over the windows, blocking any potential prying eyes. Night fell, bringing with it an oppressive stillness punctuated only by the relentless drumbeat of rain. Exhausted, we attempted to rest, lying awake in uneasy silence. Hours later, Clara's voice pierced the darkness. "Alex, do you hear that?" My heart pounded as I listened intently. A faint creak echoed from the direction of the front door. Then, a sharp knock sent adrenaline coursing through my veins. "Who's there?" I demanded, voice trembling, no response. Another knock, louder this time, rattled the wooden frame. Clara clutched my arm tightly as the handle began to turn. Suddenly, the noise ceased altogether, replaced by an ominous thud against one of the covered windows. Fabric slipped free, revealing a pale hand pressed flat against the glass. Its owner remained shrouded in darkness. "That's the same hand," Clara cried, panic rising in her voice. I grabbed the makeshift curtain and yanked it back over the window, backing away slowly. The hand continued pounding relentlessly, each impact threatening to shatter the fragile barrier separating us from whatever lurked outside. Then, abruptly, the assault stopped. Moments later, headlights pierced the gloom outside. Relief flooded through me. Help had finally arrived. A familiar voice called out from beyond the threshold. "Clara. Alex, are you in there?" It was Daniel's. Yet something felt off. His silhouette loomed unnaturally tall, distorted by flickering lights from his vehicle. Before I could respond, a grotesque transformation unfolded before our eyes. Long, spindly appendages emerged from the earth behind him, wrapping around his body and forcing his lips into a grotesque grin. Blood sprayed as his mouth tore open, revealing impossibly elongated fingers manipulating his face like puppet strings. A low, guttural voice emanated from somewhere below, the source unmistakably human, yet utterly alien. From the mud rose a disembodied head, its black eyes gleaming with malevolent intelligence. "Hungry," it rasped, fixing its gaze upon us. Daniels collapsed lifelessly to the ground as countless arms erupted from the soil, dragging his remains underground. Paralyzed with terror, I slammed the door shut and bolted it, clutching Clara close. Below us, the floorboards groaned ominously as unseen forces clawed their way upward. Mud seeped through cracks, pooling steadily around our feet. Desperation seized Clara, who grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the exit. "We have to move," she screamed, bursting through the doorway and sprinting toward Daniel's abandoned ATV. Miraculously, the engine roared to life as we sped away, leaving the nightmare behind. Or so we hoped. Miles later, we encountered another group of rangers conducting routine patrols. Their skepticism was palpable as we recounted our experience, dismissing our claims as stress-induced hallucinations. Official reports chalked up Daniel's disappearance to a tragic accident caused by unstable terrain. To this day, every rainfall reminds me of that fateful trip. Somewhere deep within those woods, I wonder if that unblinking head still waits, patient and hungry, for its next victim.